Me are the original junglist from 19 what year, yeah, sir. Can't get to call them lock up. Freedom, gangster. There is no original more original than this.
Yo, what's going on? Say Yons. It's your boy Jon Johnson coming straight out of KingSlayer Gaming. But hey, bro, real talk, I gotta bow down. Yo, hottest, literal hottest, youngest commodity in professional wrestling, dog. I'm talking about Miss American Dream, Brittnie Brooks.
Wow.
yo, real talk. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How you doing?
I'm good. That was a great intro. I'm like so excited.
You know me, I'm known for the intro joint. But we want to know, first off, for the people out there, what is it that you do, Miss Brooks? Let them know.
I go out there and I'm the center of attention. I steal the attention the moment I walk in the room.
Yo, I love it. So, as far as your wrestling that you have out here in AZ, is that something, because my girl, she's only 19, y'all. She's only 19. How is it wrestling out here at that young age?
It's fun. Like, I'm one of the youngest, I feel like I barely wrestle in Arizona now, but it's just been so much fun. Like, I started training when I was 15 years old, and now I'm 19, so like, I feel like that's crazy. Like, it's been 4 years. But yeah, it's just been so much fun.
Dude, I love it. So started when you were 14?
Yeah, 14, I think it was like 14, almost 15.
Almost 15,
yeah.
bro. I'm just saying, like, in general, doing that at young, I'm about to hit 30 for one. And she's already taken over the world at 19, dog. Youngest women's champion. That's what I'm talking about. So as you go run after run, is it hard being the shit? I just want to know, because you walk through everyday life like we do. I mean, you still keep your day-to-day job out here. Like, you know, if we can divulge to the fans, my girl, you out here working at Target. So she keeps a day-to-day and still takes over the world. How is that going to your day-to-day and your co-workers? Like, do you feel you could just body slam the manager? Like, how does this work?
Oh, I mean, sometimes if the guests want to be rude, I'm like, yeah, you know I'm a professional wrestler, right? And then they're like, oh, but no, it's really fun, and it's like crazy because like every time I walk down like the toy aisles at Target, I'm just like, bro, one day I'm not gonna be working here. I'm gonna be a toy right there with like all these girls that like I've seen on TV, and that's like my goal, and that's like what I want so bad. And like it does get very hard. I barely ever work at Target because I'm out of town so much now, and like I kind of have it just so that I could like stay afloat, but I'm trying to make it so that I can start making a living off of like wrestling and stuff. But I still live at home, so like I don't really have to worry about bills yet, but I know that that's gonna end one day when my parents are gonna be like, yeah, get out, and I'm gonna be like, like so scared. But right now I still work there, but I'm hoping to like eventually make enough off of wrestling so then I don't have to pretty soon.
I know that's right. She's young out here getting the grind, still doing the day-to-day. I know a lot of y'all out there, you know, you just feel like you're just doing the one thing and we just gonna settle. My girl ain't about settling, right? She's conquering the world out here. So as we want to continue to talk about your wrestling joint, tell the people, as far as promotion-wise, what are you wrestling for so we can find out more about the Brittnie?
Ooh, so I've been hitting a lot of new places recently. So like my home base is AWF here in Arizona. I have a show with them on the 30th, the 29th and the 30th. They have like this little festival thing on the 29th and then the 30th. This weekend, I'm making my Oasis Pro debut in Oakland, California. And then also I'm making my Hood Slam Arizona debut on Sunday. And then next week, I'm making my ETU debut in New Jersey. And then the day after that, I'm returning to WAW in Waco. And then the next week, like I said, I have Prescott Pro Wrestling on the 28th, the El Mirage show for AWF on the 29th, AWF on the 30th, and then FSW, which has become like one of my favorite places ever, on the 1st of October. And then October is kind of crazy because I'm wrestling for the first ever Dreamwave Women's title, and you can watch that match on IWTV. I'm going against Zeta Steel, and Medusa is presenting the title to us, which is wild. And Bret Hart's on the show too, which is like insane.
My man, Brie Reezy.
And then the next day, I have my match with Billy Starks, which I've wanted for forever. And that's on the 15th at Second Wrestling. And then I don't even know. I'm kind of going, like, I can't even keep track. I'm going to, like, North Carolina one day. I'm going to New York, New Jersey, CCW debut for Capital Championship Wrestling in New Jersey. I'm at VPW in Long Island, New York in November. And then, yeah, just kind of everywhere. I'm making my UGWA debut, which is in San Francisco in a couple weeks. My HAW, which is Honor Among Wrestling, in Chicago, maybe, in next month at some point. And then, the day before that is Hood Slam in Reno, Nevada. So I'm kind of just everywhere.
Oh my God. Oh my
Mission
God.
Pro too. Mission Pro's in October.
Girl. See, I told you, the world, conquering it, just taking it over. So we have asked that question maybe to about 12 or so other wrestlers here, right? It maybe makes it a third of what you said. Like, maybe. You are a superstar, like, just in general. I mean, we probably don't have enough room in the description to list every single date, but we gonna definitely do our best to get that listed. Bro, real talk, that's phenomenal. So as you are only 19 doing all these different dates, my first question is, how do you remember all these promotional acronyms?
It's a struggle. I think the first time I ever wrestled for Dreamwave, I kept saying it was in Chicago, and like I had people tweeting me it's not in Chicago, and then very quickly I learned when I flew into the Chicago O'Hare Airport and had an hour-and-a-half drive to LaSalle, Illinois, that it was not in Chicago. So it does get confusing, and like I just thought that HAW, which is Honor Among Wrestling, I was talking to them about flights, and they're like, oh yeah, like we're not in Iowa, and in my calendar I put Iowa. And they're like, oh yeah, well, we run shows there sometimes, but like your show is in Illinois. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, it's a nice little surprise. Sometimes I don't know what airport I'm flying into, and I'm like, let me check that. Like, whenever I check in, I'm like, okay, so now I know where I'm going. It gets a little crazy. And then sometimes layovers, I was like, I didn't even know I'd be here. Like, one time I had like an 8-hour layover in Florida, and I was like, I didn't even know about a layover. Like, I thought it was flying direct, but that did not happen. So it's definitely like, I have to take it. It was funny because I was at WrestleBash a couple weekends ago, and Steph DeLander was like sitting at a table next to me, and like somebody was asking her like, "Hey, so like, where are you going after this?" And she's like, "Honestly, I can't even think about that because I need to think about what I'm doing today and today only, and check in for my flight that I go on later today, because if I do that, like, I will get so confused." And I'm starting to understand that more and more every single week, because I'm like, I can't even keep track of like everything. It's such a good problem to have. I don't want to ever seem like I'm complaining about it, because there was a time when I was just sitting in my room with my knee like torn and just like wishing that I could wrestle. And then I started wrestling once a month for AWF, and now I'm wrestling every single weekend, 2 to 3 shows a weekend. Like, I will never, ever, ever take that for granted, and I don't want to ever forget where I came from too. Like, I may complain about getting no sleep, but it's such a fun life, and it's so much better than working at Target all day, every day. So,
hey, she being honest. She just letting you know. Just being real.
We deal with some interesting people, and now they have a Starbucks on Drive Up, so they can bring your like Starbucks order out to your car, which is, no one's looking forward to that, because we don't want to get Starbucks thrown in our face. So,
no. Your boy works in retail. That's a nightmare already waiting to happen. Yo, so as we talked about a little bit, we touched on the knee. Yes. Can we talk about that injury? Like, because you're young, right?
Yeah.
We're going to keep saying that. She's 19, she's 19, she's 19. We just want to know how that goes, getting an injury at such an early stage of your career, let alone age.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, being able to move forward, because I'm going to tell you right now, I get paper cuts and I don't want to walk down the same way. It's just me. I won't even lift the box the same way if I get cut. So, like, how do you move forward being so young and just being so like driven? What's up?
So I'll start with like how it happened. We were in training, and it was actually with Damien Desire. We were going.
Did he do this?
It was me. It was my fault.
Okay.
That's like an excuse, but I don't think I've ever said who's done it, but like Damien Desire was just on the show, so like it's perfect. Everyone knows who he is. So
I love you. I love you. Sexiest wrestle drag member. Okay,
I love it.
Go ahead.
We were doing a match, and we were just like going whatever. He put me up for a body slam, and I like fell behind to go roll him up, and I landed, and I heard like a pop, and like instantly my knee gave out, and my coach was like, "Yo, get up! Like, what are you doing?" And I was like, "I don't know, like my knee really hurts." He was like, "What did I say about landing heavy?" I love my coach, and he's never wrong. Like, this man is never, ever wrong. And he was getting on me a lot about how heavy I was landing. Like, every time I jumped off the rope, like I was hitting springboards, but I was landing heavy on the ground. And he's like, "You're gonna tear your knee." And lo and behold, we do a slip the slam, and I tear my knee. And I was like, okay, I'll be fine. So I sat out for like a little bit, got in to try to like go again. Knee gave out instantly, and I collapsed. And I was like, okay, something's wrong. So my knee started to get super swollen. This was in March, and I actually had a match at AWF Triumph. And like AWF Triumph is a big show for me because it's where I believe I won my first AWF Women's Championship. So every time that show comes around, I'm super into it. And then I was supposed to wrestle Bryn Thorne, who's like literally somebody who came from my school too. And like I just really wanted to have that match, and I was really looking forward to it. And I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna give up. Like, so I kept going to training, kind of sitting out more. And then I had about 3 weeks, and then I showed up to the show. She had gotten sick, so then I wrestled Anna May that day. And the second the match started, like I literally ran at her, and my leg gave out. And Damien Desire was reffing said match, which is a funny story. And he was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I am not okay. Like, my knee hurts." So then after that, I was like, okay, something's wrong. We went to the doctor, and she like literally moved my leg, and she was like, "Oh yeah, your ACL is like torn." She's like, "You need to get an MRI, but your ACL is torn." So we went and got an MRI. They said it was a complete rupture of the ACL and meniscus. And she was like, "Okay, well, you're going to need surgery." And this was in March. And I was like, okay, well, I know I'm going to be out for like a week. Like, I'm not going to be able to walk, so I can't go to school. And I had the ACT coming up because I was a junior. And so they put me in this knee brace, and they're like, "Yeah, you need to wear this now." And then I went to a doctor's appointment a couple weeks later, and they're like, "You don't need to wear that until after the surgery." And I was like, "I don't know who gave this to me, but whatever." And so I got the surgery at the end of May once I finished my junior year of high school. And it's funny because I literally got chills driving here today, because literally the hospital that I got my surgery in is 5 minutes from here. The Banner Hospital. I was like, oh my God. I was like, I wanted to tell that on the podcast because like I haven't been over on this side of town since then, and I'm just like, but so I got the surgery in May, and then not the best idea, but I did go back to training like a couple months later, like very light training. Like, I couldn't get up off forward rolls, so it was a really, really hard process. And also, too, like, that's when AEW Dark started popping off, and so many people I knew were on AEW Dark, and I was just sitting there like, I'm so happy for all these incredible wrestlers and all my friends that are getting on this, but I'm like, I wish I was there. And that made me more driven. Like, I was so heartbroken because, like, I've never been in a relationship. I've never experienced a heartbreak. And that was the biggest heartbreak of my life so far. Like, just having to sit there and like see all of this happening, and like it hurts so bad. And then I couldn't walk, and just like going to school when I first came back, because I started training back in like, I got the surgery end of May, like beginning of June, so I was out all summer. I couldn't go to the gym. I was so sad. And then once I finally started moving after like a week after surgery, I hobbled my way into the gym, and so many people came up to me, they're like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just over here hitting upper body," because that was all I could do with like my leg and this thing. But yeah, it was a crazy process. And then I made my return December at AWF Christmas Bruising in like a 6-pack challenge. And that was when I met like so many people that like now I like wrestle all the time on the indies. So that was really cool. I had like one match then, and then one match in January, a couple matches in February, and then around March and April was when I started popping off and traveling like all the time. And now I'm having 2 to 3 shows every single weekend, and it's just been incredible. Like, I'm so happy to be at where I am, because I always think back about like that time when I was literally sitting in bed, like just staring at the wall or watching wrestling and just being like, bro, like it hurt to watch it, because it was like it's like getting broke up with, like, and now your girlfriend or boyfriend is now with somebody else, and you're just having to watch it. And that's how wrestling was for me. And I was like, no, like it hurts so bad to watch. But now I'm back, and I don't want to ever take things for granted, because my coach is always like, if you take it for granted, he's like, I understand, like back when I was like 16 years old, he's like, you have to keep working and you have to never, ever, ever have an ego, because if you look back at like, you're 16 now, but one day you're going to be 20 and you're going to look back and be like, oh, like if you always have the mentality like, oh, I'm just 16, like it's okay that I do this like this. That's not okay, because it's like, you're gonna live by just getting by. And so I've really been trying to push myself recently. Like, I don't want to look back and be like, oh, I was only 18 or 19, so like I shouldn't have been doing that much. Like, no, like I need to be doing that much, because if I look back and feel like I didn't give it my all this entire time, then what do I have to show for it? And that's like been something that's in my mind a lot recently.
Okay. Well, I want to stay with that same energy. Like, you know what I mean? So I just want to know, as far as, because you're young.
Yeah.
She young. She young, y'all. She young. Just want to know, because we're staying with that same energy, what is it that you do like that continues to move you forward? Being like, is it that extra chip on your shoulder? Like, do you always have to take it a step back and say you're always under the learning tree? Because you wrestling some top names, girl. Like, you are out here doing it. So when you come back into the locker room and you're just like, oh yeah, I put it down, I know what I just did. Like, what is that? Is it your coach who is that reality check for you, or are you checking yourself?
I'm 100% checking myself, because I never come back from a match thinking like, oh, this was good. I always nitpick the little things that I like messed up. Like, it's always in my brain like, oh, this didn't go well. And that like always just sits on my brain forever. And I'm just like, I hope nobody saw that, or I hope this looks better than what it was when and like, I am 100% always on the learning tree. Like, I want to learn, because everybody has such different experiences, and I want to learn from everybody. Like, I go to training at FSW sometimes. Like, I'll literally drive up a few days earlier. Like, a couple weeks ago, I did West Coast Pro, and I learned so much, because like Chris Hero was there, dropping a ton of knowledge, and like some of the top names on the indies had popped into that training too, like Jay Malachi and Brian Keith. Like, they're top names on the indies, and like just seeing the way they did their roles was different. I want to learn everything. Like, I want to be always, and I don't want somebody to ever like be afraid to hold back, because like how I was coached was like, he like, I love my coach, and he like, the best way I learn is when he's yelling at me. Like, I feel like something's wrong when he's like, oh yeah, that was good. I'm like, are you just like not watching me? Like, I feel like you didn't see that. Like, maybe it wasn't good. My coach is Lawrence Tyler, by the way, for anybody wondering. But like, don't hold back. Like, I want to hear all the critiques, because that's how I get better. And like, I will listen and I will ask a lot of trusted people. And I think wrestling is just such like you take everything from everybody and shape it yourself, like into who you are. Because you can't only listen to one person, because you're not that person. Like, you have to listen to a million different people and shape who you want to be. Because Brittnie Brooks is not Lawrence Tyler. Brittnie Brooks is not like, it's a combination of all of these people, and I want to learn from everybody. But LT will always be my coach, and always I owe him everything.
I feel it. So as you continue to do what it is that you do, is there any extra added pressure on you to perform, just because you know all the eyes are on you? You know what I mean? As far as, oh, well, she's so young, she's out here doing it. You got people like Nick Wayne, you got you know what I mean? Like, you know, these young babies. And I can say that finally. 30 next month, I can say babies. So we got these babies out here who are conquering the world from the independent circuit and on. I saw you out here with AEW. I saw you out here with W. Like continuously, because we talked a little bit behind the scenes about what it takes to get to those positions, right? So from working with AEW Dark, can you just talk about a little bit of what that process is to where you can actually be booked on AEW Dark? Just because the fans would just like a little bit of the peel back of the curtain, just ever so slightly. You don't have to tell what you don't want to know. All right, look, don't hit up her DMs and ask for more information. All right, she's only gonna tell us what she's allowed to say. So if you will, please, if it's possible.
I just wanted to start by saying it's crazy to be mentioned with Nick Wayne, because he's like so cool. And I literally love Nick Wayne's work. Like, I think he's amazing. And just to be mentioned with, like, really quick off topic, there was like a Future Legend show, because Future Legend is a company that I'm sponsored by. Check out my shirts on futurelegend.com. But they had a show during AEW Double or Nothing weekend, and like, I just looked around, like, Nick Wayne wasn't there, but like Billy Starks was there, Robert Martyr, Bodie Young Prodigy, like all of these crazy young people. And the premise of the show was all these wrestlers under 25 years old. Richard King, Adonis, he was there. And Starboy Charlie too. I just looked around and I was like, I wasn't on the show because like I didn't know about it until like day of type of situation, and then a spot opened and I was like, oh, let me get that, and then this whole thing happened. But I was just looking around and I was like, it's crazy to think like all of these people are like, and now you look around and there's like so many incredible wrestlers. Like Mia Friday, she's from Texas, and like every time I forget how young she is. I think she's like 16 or 17, and I was always the baby in my circle. I was always the young one, like looked at as a child, and then I look around and I'm like, there's so many of us out here. Like to even be mentioned with some of those names is like insane to me. But AEW Dark was an insane experience. So basically how it works is you kind of like every time they come to a town, they look at the talent there. And you kind of just get invited, and then from there you get put in a match based on that. And it was just wild to me because honestly I didn't think I was going to get a match. Like I said, I'm extremely hard on myself. Like you're your own biggest critic is 100% true. And like nobody is like more, oh my God, like I'm going to mess this up than me. And like just to be like in a match and get like that, like I guess that platform to showcase, and especially at the Footprint Center. I went to like 12, 13 WWE shows there. Like that place is so special in me. And I remember just looking around and I was like, dude, like I've sat there. My mom's up there. Like, I didn't know if I was going to have a match or not. So she had just bought a ticket just to go. And yeah, so it was a crazy experience. And like, I don't know, like I was so stressed from the moment I got invited. I was like, I don't want to mess up. And now I've been back a couple times, and it's definitely like, it's been really cool to just like see how everything works. And even if you get there and you don't get a match, like it's still really cool to like talk to people and learn from them, because every single person has had a different experience. Like even if it's a local person who's never like traveled for a show, they have knowledge in ways that's like these headliners don't. You know what I mean? Like everybody has a different experience, and I love to pick brains, and I love to learn from literally everybody and anybody who's willing to talk. Like I'm so willing to listen.
Okay. Well, for one, I'm enjoying listening, and we're gonna keep on listening because I got another question.
Yes.
Talk to me, because we want to stay on the same topic of picking the brains, right?
Yeah.
So who would you say that you would say, you know what, I saw what you did, I want to be a wrestler because of that, right? Who would you say, is it just a couple of people? Do you have a Mount Rushmore where you can't even count them all? Like, talk to me, because once I get going, I got to count my hands, my feet, I got to do it all. So talk to me, is there just a one or two, or is it a long laundry list?
So my biggest inspiration, I would say, is the Bella Twins. Like, I literally used to run a fan page, with the Bella Twins, and I met them one day, and I was like, I want to be a wrestler because of you guys. And the Bella Twins have always just been super special to me because they paved the way for women, and AJ Lee too. But like a huge, like the love of my life was John Cena when I was a kid. Like I had posters of this man on my wall. I had every shirt. Like I'd pull up with the sweatbands, wearing these oversized shirts, and my friends would be like, "Why are you wearing such a big shirt?" And I'm like, "It's my John Cena shirt." I would save up all my money. Like I would literally buy merch because like my parents were super sketched out about ordering stuff online. So they were like, yeah, we're not ordering that online. So I would save up all my money and go just crazy at the merch stands like as a kid. And just John Cena was so big. And like Dolph Ziggler too, like he was always like one of my favorites. Becky Lynch, huge inspiration to me. I bumped into her a few times, like, and it was just like I had a really good conversations with her, like long length, and I was just so cool to pick her brain, like as I was just starting to wrestle. But yeah, those are definitely the people who inspired me. But in terms of like picking brains nowadays, obviously my coach is my biggest, like I will always go to him for everything. Like I'll message him randomly and I'll just be like, hey, what do you think about this? Or what like, can you watch this match? Like Lawrence Tyler. And then even R3 Charles, he's always been super nice to like ask advice from. Brooke Havoc, actually, she's from Northern California. I literally messaged her one day. I was like, hey dude, like I see you're wrestling 2 to 3 shows every single weekend. Like, how are you doing this? She gave me so much advice, so much feedback. Chris Masters had come to the AWF locker room a few months ago, and I picked his brain like crazy. At FSW, there's so many brains, so many people have experienced so much, because you have like Remy Marcel there, you have G Sharp, who like has literally traveled the world just to like pick his brain. So many people, I can't even think, like even Jacob Austin Young, he's been everywhere. Chris Bay in Impact, you have Kenny King in Impact, Jay Vidal, like Vegas is where it's at. I love Vegas. And even just like, I feel like I learn a little bit from every single person I come across. Like, I never want to hold back on a question. Like, I'm always like, how did you do this? What did you do? Like, blah, blah, because it never hurts to ask. Like, you never know unless you ask. I've learned that in every single asset of life and wrestling.
Dude, I love it. And I want to make sure we keep it honest. That's what it's all about. And as we talk, because I told her earlier, we don't write down questions around here. No, this is an open-ended conversation. You know what I mean? I just hit record and then I just had a conversation joint. So as we talk, she likes my word. Hey, come on, dog. That's what I'm talking about. I'm going to get a shirt, dog. I promise.
Yes,
that's
do
the
it.
next
Merch.
shirt.
It's the merch.
Come on.
Merch game. Gotta go crazy.
I'm learning from the best out here, dog. That's what I'm trying to do. But I want to talk about, because this is a gamer channel, all right?
Ooh.
Now, this is okay. It's okay. Listen, we just want to know, are you 100% opposed to video games to the point, or do you have time? Do you do mobile games? What do you do? What's going on?
So I don't play video games simply because I just suck at them. Like,
oh, wow.
I hate bowling because I suck at bowling.
Okay.
I'm okay at laser tag, so I'll play laser tag and have fun. Just certain things, when I suck at them, I just don't want to do them. And it drives me crazy.
No.
As a kid, though, I had like the little pink Nintendo DS with like all my WWE stickers on it.
Hey.
I played like Pokemon because my brother thought it was cool. I mean, I started watching wrestling because my brother thought it was cool. So honestly, if we have anybody to thank for this, it's my brother. But like, I played stuff on the Nintendo DS because he was playing it, and then the first like game that we ever got when we got an Xbox 360, like my dad's coworker sold it for super cheap. We got WWE Superstars, like where they look all weird.
Yeah. Hey, that's a classic, bro. Don't doubt it, baby. That's the one.
That was the first game we got, and then I just always bought the WWE 2K games, and I would always, which is crazy to me because I've gotten some opportunities recently, and I'm just like, this is crazy. I used to play these games like. It's wild to me. And then sometimes people will tweet me like, hey, I made you in the game. I was like, no, you did not. Like, I am not made in that game. Or when I used to make myself, they only had like the male versions. So I put Corey on it because I was like, I need a male name. And, but yeah, like, I always played WWE. That was my thing. I did a little bit of GTA, like when my brother liked it. I thought it was so fun. But yeah, now I don't play video games. I don't think I have nearly any time for that, but
You heard her schedule. That was a laundry list of dates, bro. She ain't got no time for nothing. And that's perfectly fine. We're not trying to, no judgment on here, just to make sure you weren't like, ew. That's the main...
No, I would never hate on anybody's passions and pastimes or anything. Like, I think it's cool. I can't stand to lose. Like, when somebody... I can't even remember the last time I played a video game, but I know for sure I got beat, and I was just like, no, I'm not doing this. Like, I'm not losing.
I love it. Hey, you got to stay competitive. You got that edge for a reason, right? That's why she's out here taking the champ life out here, bro. Starting out early out here. I love it. So my next question, as far as getting back to the wrestling, you know what I mean? Your injury. I just want to linger on that a little bit. This isn't the first time you've been injured, is it?
It was, yeah. It was the first time I've ever been to a hospital. First time I ever got my blood drawn. Like, I was so nervous.
Wow.
First time I ever went to the doctor for, like, not feeling good. Like, we just always would go to, like, a little clinic or, like, oh, it's the flu, it'll pass. Like, whatever type stuff. Like, take NyQuil and call it a day. Like, I've never been hurt before. So that was, like, super scary. And now, anytime, like, something hurts a little bit, I'm like, oh, my God, I need to get it checked out. Like... Because I'm like, the sooner I get the surgery, the sooner I'll be back. Like, sure. I know that there's like a lot of controversy on like, should they get the surgery, like all these things. And I'm just like, I feel like for my situation, I needed it because if I would have kept pushing it off, like I think it would have been a problem for a long time. And I still have problems with things like, there's still stuff that I mean, my knee is good now, but like in my head, I'm still afraid to do like, even so much so like jump down from the ropes. Or like do even like the house show dives, like those are scary because you land on like just anything where you land on my feet, like even doing body slam get outs, it's like scary for me still. Like, I did win a match the other day. I'm like, please don't tear your ACL. Because I've also heard so much about, like, people tearing their other ACL the second, like, they come back because they're putting so much weight or, like, relying on the other one. So, yeah, that was my first ever injury, and I'm terrified of getting injured again. But I know it's bound to happen, but let's hope not.
Man, we gonna pray. We gonna pray. You know what I'm saying? It's too early. You know what I'm saying? You got to get a couple of championships.
There's more I need to do.
I'm just saying, bro. You got to get a couple of signees, then get fired, then come back, and then you got then you can have your 2 ACL. Then we can accrue. You got to have a track record. Is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Man. Hey, okay, cool. So as we keep on going, what's next for Miss Brittnie Brooks, bro? Like, are we, because I know we have multiple different organizations, right? Which means we have multiple goals in those organizations, right or wrong? Or is it just more of a, I just want to be seen everywhere? What's going on? Talk to me.
Well, my goals are definitely to get everywhere and do everything I can. Like, I want to blow up, and I've been really trying. But the biggest, like, booking I have coming up is the Dreamwave Women's Championship. It's the first ever women's championship for that company. It's going to be streaming on IWTV. I'm super, write it down. October 14th. That weekend is wild because I literally am wrestling for that title, and the next day wrestling Billy Starks, who is someone that I really admire, who's blowing up, and literally, like, I think I'm older than her now because I just turned 19. But yeah, I'm hoping that those matches go really well, and I'm just like, I'm trying to get everywhere and do everything. Some really big goals of, like, promotions that I want to work. I do want to go to Japan soon. I do want to go to Canada soon. But in terms of, like, promotions in the United States, I really want to work Defy, Prestige, West Coast Pro. Like, those are all, like, some promotions I really have my eye on and really want to work for. New Texas Pro, Texas Wrestling Cartel. Like, I have a lot of bookings coming up, but also so many more I want to do. And then the goal, like, super long-term goal, is to get signed. Like, I would love to work for WWE, AEW, or Impact. Those are all very much so on my radar. And honestly, whoever grabs me first, like, I mean, I hope I get to the level where it's like, oh, they're fighting over me. I would never expect that because, like, there's obviously a lot of things, like, I need to improve on before I think I'm ready to go to those places. But I always tell my coach, and he's like, you're never going to be ready. And I'm just like, that's so stressful to me. Because, like, if I got a tryout tomorrow for WWE, I was like, no, I'm not going to be ready. But he's like, you're never going to think that you are, because with the mindset that you have, which is really good, you can never be content. And I'm like, I never will be. And, like, I don't think I can be content. Like, I've had this conversation with a lot of people. Like, I honestly don't think I will be content until I'm, like, 70 years old, main evented WrestleMania. And even after that, I'll still think that there was more that I could have done. So, like, I don't know, but those are my long-term goals, and my really serious goal is to get signed before 22, 23 years old. Like, I feel like now is the time to blow up, and, like, if they're gonna want me, they're gonna want me when I'm young. So, I've already had an ACL injury, so that's, like, scary. Putting that on the paperwork when they have you fill it out and stuff, I'm just like, yeah, I've gotten an injury, because then I don't want to be seen as injury prone. It's like, I promise I'm not. It was just a bad slip to slam.
Sure. But I think that, and I'm not looking in from a promotional standpoint, because I don't know what promoters have to go through their heads. They got a lot of stuff y'all doing out there. Look, I'm not going to pretend to know what's going on. But I will say, at least from my viewpoint, you get points just for how fast you came back and everything you're doing right now. You know what I mean? Because after you got that injury, you've gone a complete 180. Right, as far as everything that you've been able to accomplish, not only inside the ring, but outside of it, right? You got constant bookings, whether that be interviews, whether that be KingSlayerGaming.com, whether that be continual promotional things, right? When you continue to get signed, people are just asking you, yo, can you be on the show? Can you do this, that, and the other? And as you said, you only used to go for AWF once a month, and now continual bookings throughout the joint. I had to fight to get her here, bro. Like, I just want you to know, and I will do it again. I have no problems with that. But just to get part of your schedule was hard, you know, and that in itself, that makes me feel like you doing something right.
Aww.
You know, you absolutely doing it right. And this is just marks the date here. All right, what's this, September 15th? Yo, check it out. This is the day where she blew up this might not have been what did it, but she was on her route. All right, she made a stop here. All right,
Yes.
she made a stop here. B, that's what I'm talking about. Yo, real talk. I have nothing but love for you, girl. We've been watching you throughout the runs. You know what I mean? Just continuously, everything you've been doing in FW. It's so many damn acronyms, bro. I'm sorry. I am sorry. But between AWF, between FSW, between everything else that you have been going on, and not to mention Wave, finna get that championship belt. Yo, she needs to, yo, real talk.
Dreamwave, yes.
Yo, Wave. This needs to be the
First
Wave.
ever
Yo.
Dreamwave Women's Champion
I'm
right
just
here.
saying. I'm just
Zeta
saying.
Steel, you're going down.
Ooh. She's name dropping now. She's letting
Every
me know.
interview I do, Zeta, you're in my mind. Like every interview, I don't care.
Wow. Yeah, I'm just happy to be a part of that. Real talk, I have nothing but love for it. But I just wanted to ask, because I know we don't have too much time here, because my girl's busy, all right? We just talked about she's flying out doing this, that, and the other. I just had 2 more questions for you.
Yeah.
My first one would be, what is the craziest place that you've been to as far as wrestling? And that might be not, culture-wise aside, I meant just the experience there. What would be the craziest experience for you so far?
I mentioned this a little bit in a text message earlier. One time I wrestled at a Pizza Hut. That was interesting. It was 10 hours away in Borger, Texas. And we didn't know that they had a Pizza Hut. I got there and I was like, where's the ring? And it was in the parking lot of a Pizza Hut. Now, this got clout online, though. I tweeted about it, and honestly, that alone made it worth it, because it was a 10-hour drive for me and SOS. And it was an interesting show, to say the least. It was fun, but it was at a Pizza Hut, and it was just funny. People, after I posted, I was like, made my Pizza Hut debut. People are like, what? This happened? So that was kind of crazy. And I think the craziest show I've ever done was one time I did the level. It was the first time ever I wrestled in Vegas, and that was honestly the show where I realized, hey, maybe I shouldn't go to college, because I was doing my homework at 3 a.m. in Vegas because I was just so busy. But there was a Level Up weekend expo in Vegas, and it's an all-day expo. So they're having matches from 12 to 8 p.m. So to be there all day, and I would drink an energy drink thinking I was about to go, and then I would crash on the energy drink, and I was like, okay, well now I need to pay attention more to the match card, because that was probably the craziest show I ever did, because it was an all day show. They would have a match, take a break, because they're at this anime expo. So that was pretty crazy.
Dude, I love it. Yo, that's at least we got some nerd culture around, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm talking about. So we might not be playing the games every single day, but we still getting the culture of KingSlayer gaming around the vicinity at some points. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, at least we got a little victory in there somewhere.
Yes.
That's cool. Okay, cool. So let the people know where they can find you as far as socials, right?
Okay.
And as far as the next immediate shows, because I know we know them all. Okay, look, y'all gonna have to go back. I'm not gonna have her do it all over again. All right, she's just gonna tell you the one she has in the immediate future, right? But just let them know, Highball, what's going on, Miss Brittnie?
So my Instagram is the Brittnie Brooks. My Twitter is Brittnie Brooks. I have a vlog channel on YouTube called Brittnie Brooks. You can check out my Pro Wrestling Tees this summer of Brittnie shirt, outprowrestlingtees.com. I also have a Future Legend collab with them on their website. And then as far as immediate shows, I don't think this will be posted in the next few hours, but tomorrow I'm
At least she's giving me some time. She's giving me some time. I appreciate it.
But tomorrow, it'll probably already pass, but September 16th is Oasis Pro in Oakland, California. And then September 17th is Head Slam in Arizona. And then I'll go next week, just in case this gets uploaded next week.
That's her way of saying do it. That's her way of telling me you better hurry it up.
No rush at all.
That's okay, girl. You the star. All right, that's cool. Are we gonna get it next week? We gonna get it next week.
But on the 22nd, I'm at ETU in New Jersey, which is Expect the Unexpected, and then on the 23rd, I'm at WAW in Waco, Texas.
Okay, I love it. Yo,
Yes.
we gonna make sure we get it all down there as well, making sure that you follow her as well, because we want to make sure that we share the journey that is the Miss America.
Oh.
Brittnie Brooks, you know what I mean?
The center of attention.
The absolute center of attention. You already know. So, hey, is there anything else that you would like to tell the fan base out there as far as, and you could be nice about it. You don't have to be nice about it. You know what I mean? You can say whatever you want at this point. It's the end of the joint. You probably got a little frustration, But look, anyway, go ahead. Floor is yours, my man.
I don't even know what to say. I would just say treat people with kindness, because you never know what someone's going through, and I don't know, just like there's so much hatred and negativity in the world. Just treat everybody with kindness and accept everybody. Like, I don't know. I feel like that's so important to pay attention to, because like you never know what someone's going through, and the second like you're rude to them, like even in service, like when I'm at work, like I will always be so nice. People will be like, "How are you so nice?" I'm just like, I'm just here. Like I'm just like I have to be here. Why be rude when I'm here? So. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Hey, treating them with kindness, dog, because you never know when somebody might want to, it comes around. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
It always comes around. Well, thank you so much, Miss Brittnie. I definitely do appreciate it. We have been nothing but honored, right, to have you as a guest to break down the professional wrestling barrier, just because we've had veterans, right, who have been doing this for years and years and years out here, you know what I'm saying? But to be able to see it from the ground up, because there are a lot of young fans out there that don't really know everything that you guys go through, and to have it through your eyes in a lot of ways, that you're the most relatable wrestler of all. Like honestly, like
thank you so much.
Just honestly, like you have the most relatable so I think that's why, at least in my opinion, that's why people follow you, and that's why people are so like gravitate towards you, your energy, your personality, the way you carry yourself, a ray of sunshine in a lot of cases.
I tried.
Just honestly,
Thank you so much.
I'm just being real. So hey, let me stop flirting. All right, until the next time, baby, this has been your boy Jon Johnson, straight out of KingSlayer Gaming. I'm with the one and only Brittnie Brooks out here, baby. Come on, get that dial in, girl. You already know. So until next time, you know what it is.